Hey, hey. Let me just make sure I'm in the right spot. Day one is finally here. Let me make sure. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So I'm going to wait for some of you guys to hop on in. But firstly, thank you to all replay viewers, to all live viewers, to everyone that has been super patient with me launching this, because last week I really did feel like death. Absolute death warmed up. So, and you really wouldn't have wanted me here in my deathly place. Wouldn't have been good. Hey girls, hey Julie, hey Wendy. I'm actually a little bit nervous about this one because there's so many people booked on. And a lot of them I don't know. So welcome if you've never met me before. I promise you this will be utter badassery. Promise, pinky swear. So there's a lot of people, and I get that not a lot of people are actually going to be, hey Wendy, are going to be on this one, you know, bank holiday and stuff like that. But I imagine as the week rolls round and the different times I'm going to have to do some of these is going to be a little bit, it should catch different people at different times, and certainly there'll be different topics as the week rolls by that will appeal to more people than others, which is always good. Hey Lynn, how are you? But so today is going to be all about, this is basics to badass. Obviously I have to start with the basics, and I know that for some of you I've been reading a lot of the comments that you know, the questions that you answer when you come into the group. A lot of the comments are really kind of on the basic level. So even if this potentially may not serve you, I hope there'll be things that you'll learn on each and every day. And each day there is going to be a different topic. So hey Leanne, welcome. You know, today's all going to be about the basics, so the various buttons, how to do multiple stories, which seems to confuse the shit out of everyone. And for those of you that are new, that have never seen me before, I do swear like a sailor. It is always meant with love. It's just the way that I speak and the way that I articulate myself, so you're going to have to kind of get used to that. But yeah, today's all about basics, buttons, how to do more than one story, and just walking you through so that you feel really comfortable with getting a story out there in some way. So most of it, actually, I'm going to have my phone, so I'm just going to be doing lots of this. So not this, because you know that's not good, is it? But this to actually show you. Now I'm an Android user, so for those of you that are on iPhone, it might be slightly different, but it won't be completely different. So as long as I'm pointing you in the right direction, then you should understand it. So today really is about basics. It's about getting you going. It's about just being very comfortable, very knowledgeable on how to do everything and what all the different buttons mean and what it all looks like. Every day you'll have a piece of homework, and it'll only be something really simple, and it's just to get you motivated, it's just to get you going, and to get you really used to rocking your Insta stories, because Insta stories are huge, right? They are huge. And I think, as I said on the sales page, I predict that in the next year or so, stories will actually outperform your normal feed. They certainly do for me from a lead gen point of view. So from a you know, a sales and getting leads and sales and marketing point of view, they definitely outperform my standard feed. Okay, so although my viewers are lower than my followers, actually my stories outperform my standard feed. So do try and keep that in mind, because I know a lot of the feedback I get from stories is it's not really worth my time because I don't have very many people watching. Okay, and then I'm going to show you how you can increase that as the week goes by, which is all good because we want that. But ultimately, studies have shown that people that are watching the stories are far more highly engaged than those on your normal feed, so they're much more likely to buy. So think about it from that point of view. Even if you don't have very many people on your stories, then that's okay, because the ones that are going to be there are going to be much more engaged than the ones that are possibly reading your feed. So do try and keep that in mind as well. Hey Danny, how are you, darling? Hello Amy, good to see you. Okay, so I got some familiar faces, so that's fine. I've not got the influx of, there's actually over 500 people booked on the show. And I get actually that most of them are asleep at the moment. So I'm kind of like, opted out, so it's all good. Right, so basics. Now, at any time during the next 5 days, if I say something that is confusing, if I say something you don't really understand, or if I say something that you have a question, please do put it in the comments, okay? It may be that what I do is I go back to it after. It may not be on the live, it depends on Facebook and how much it lets me see, but please do ask questions, because I will answer anything that comes up over the next 5 days, all right? So, you know, if there's anything that's not completely clear, you know, just ask, you know, please just ask. There is no question at all that is off limits. There's no question that's stupid. Please don't think I can't ask that because, you know, she's tried to answer, like, please don't think any of that. This challenge is to help you, and I know that lots and lots of you want it for the simple fact that lots of you signed up. So please do ask questions. I want this to really, really serve you. And I know that from some of the people that I work with in the background, some of my coaches and stuff, they're like, you do realise that this is like the quality of a paid course. You should be charging for this. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's all good. Like, it's all good, right? So your first piece of homework is definitely, if you haven't followed me yet on Instagram, please do, because I'm going to be doing and performing the same homework as you throughout this week. So if you're a little bit stuck on some of the things and the tasks that I'm going to set you, then you can follow what I'm doing. So please do go and follow me. My handle is I am Sam Barefoot. So please do find me, because hopefully that will motivate you. And one of the very first, I did this challenge last year, just as a complete offset. I did this challenge last year, and a piece of pre-homework that I didn't give this year, and maybe I should have done, but you can definitely do that throughout this week, is go and find 3 people that you really enjoy watching. Okay, on stories. Now, this is not necessarily competitors. This is not people that of a similar business to you. These are just 3 people that you genuinely enjoy watching, and that can be a celebrity, that could be me, that could be Gary Vee, that could be Gary Bernstein. It could be anybody. You know, it could be someone that's really. I watch a lot of makeup tutorials, right? So it could be things like that. It could be anything, but the idea of this is what I really want you to learn and take away from day one is, and part of the reason why it's called Basics to Badass is because stories can be very basic but super powerful all at the same time. Okay, so, and I want you to learn that through watching some other people, because you'll very quickly learn that not everything has to be aesthetically pleasing. Not everything has to be, you know, perfect and fully branded and looking very slick and pretty and all of that kind of stuff. Actually, stories are far more raw and unprepared and not perfect. You know, and hopefully picking 3 different people from all walks of life, you will see that actually that's pretty much how most people rock stories. Now, don't get me wrong, tomorrow's topic is going to be around fancy pants branding, and I'm going to show you how to make things look really pretty as and when you need to, or you want to, or you're just feeling a little bit extra. Just a little bit extra today. So tomorrow is all about that, but today is about basics, and I just want you to realize that basic can be super powerful, and I just want you to get going with it and start using it, right? So if you wanted to do that, please do. So come follow me and go and find 3 other people that you just really enjoy watching and just see how they do it. You know, I mean, obviously, if you choose Gary Vee, for example, the man's like owns a media company, for goodness sake. Like, his stuff is fire. Like, it is straight up very, very slick and very fire. But there's nothing wrong with you watching that and going, okay, how can I do that that's not as expensive, that's not as like full on, take some sort of inspiration. Just in my point. So hopefully this will massively help you. But you know, I love Gary. Hey Jeanette, hey darling. Hopefully you'll get all this. So basics. Let's get started with the basics, right? Hang on a minute, I've got a gazillion things going on my phone. Right, as I said, I'm an Android user, so please don't think, oh my God, this is not going to work for iPhone. It should do, it should be very similar. Yeah, it should be around about the same place, okay? So first question is stories. If you don't know, your stories are the things that roll across the top, all right? So this is where your circle is going to appear when you start to put stories onto your feed. Now, the first thing I need to teach you is that your story viewers are very likely going to be completely different to the people that are watching your normal feed. All right, so let's just say that again. The people that are watching your stories are quite likely different from the people that are liking and commenting on your feed. So what does that tell us? That tells us that you have two very different audiences on your Instagram that possibly, if you're not writing stories yet, you haven't been talking to yet. So you're very possibly leaving money on the table, right? So this means we have to talk to them, and sometimes we have to duplicate some of the information that we're talking about. But let's find stories first. So when you first open your page, what you're going to do, let's do this. Let me turn down the brightness, see if that makes it a little easier for you to see. Is that better? Yeah. Is that better? Yeah, that's way better. Okay, so across the bottom, if you hit your main profile, so this is your page, right? And certainly, if you have never done a story before, there'll be a plus sign in your profile picture here. And you can certainly hit that if you haven't done one before, right? But I know that loads of people do this, and then when they go to do it again, see, I've already got one, so there's no plus sign on mine. So if I went to tap it, it just takes me to my stories, okay? But it's not going to allow me to add another story, and I know loads of people get stuck on this. So how do you add another story once you've added a story? And my trick is I never use this button. Even if I haven't got one, I never use it. I just get into the habit of doing it the other way so that you can constantly add other stories, right? One on top of the other, which is how people get more than one story. So rather than tapping your main profile, hit the little house at the bottom and go to the very top. So same side, but the very top, hit the camera, okay, and this is how you can add stories. Now, and once you've added one, this method will work over and over and over and over again. So when you see people that have more than one story, this is how they're doing it. They're not hitting their home button and going to their profile, because you can't do it like that. Although I think on an iPhone, you can hold it down and it'll give you the option to do more than one. But this method works on both phones. So you hit your house rather than your profile, go right to the top and hit the camera, and it's going to open your stories feed for you. Okay. So there are various wonders on this page, and then many of you get confused. So I'm going to start at the bottom. All right, across the bottom you've got lots of fancy words, and you can hold your finger on them and you can roll them across. So I'm going to start from one side and work all the way to the other. The first one is type, and this is for you to type in something. So if you don't want to show your face, if you don't want to go on video, you can use stories in this sense as well. However, there are some studies out now, and I watched something, I think it was last week, from my deathbed, which was telling me that actually stories that are video based have a higher chance of hitting the explore page, so being shown to a wider audience, than stuff that is text. However, if you are new to this and you are still a little bit scary when it comes to showing your face on stories, I would much rather you go with this route and start to use them, because I want you to start to see the impact and start to build some engagement with your followers on that place, okay? So type is here, and it brings this wonderful thing. Now there's a little dot here that's different colors, and you can change it into different colors as you wish. At the top it says modern currently, and it gives you, I think it's 5 different font styles. So if you tap that, it will change the font for you as well. Okay, so that's how you would type something out if you wanted to in this format. There are lots and lots of ways of doing it, and certainly I will be showing you some super fancy pants ways in the branding section that's tomorrow. But if you just want to start out and do some of this stuff, then you can do this too. Now music is here. If you want to add some music, just scroll across. Remember, put your finger on the bottom and drag it, drag it to your left if you're holding your phone, and you can select some music if you want to select some music. Okay, music's cool, people like it. Sometimes it can really articulate the way that you're feeling and the way that you are. Like last week, for example, I woke up feeling a lot better on the Friday morning, was it? So I used a picture of me drinking a cup of tea, and I embedded Guess Who's Back from Eminem. Okay, and I got so many replies on that particular story, but it's just a really great way of articulating yourself. So stories are there too. Next one along is live. Okay, so all your live stories or your live streams are going to exist here. Your live stream is different from a story in that a live stream you can talk for as long as you like. A live stream will exist still on your stories feed, but when you see them, you'll be given the choice as a viewer. You'll be given a choice. You'll see that stories or live because it's a long, and you can choose which one you want to do. We will go into live a little bit later, but this is how you do live. So if you're looking at, if you're confused around how to do stories versus how to do an Instagram live, they're actually located in the same place. Okay, so your live stream would be here too, and obviously you're going to want to switch it around so it's like hello, you can see everything. Okay, so that's where you like, and you would just click go live. Okay, and it will go live for you, right? So next one along is normal. Now normal is camera function, essentially. It's just camera. So it's for you to take a still, just a standard picture. And again, you can use reverse or front facing cameras. It's entirely up to you, whatever you want to use. All right, so that's what normal means. So there are a few extra buttons which we'll cover in just a minute on normal. Boomerang is like, you know, if I was, I'm going to use this because mine's full, but say this was a cup. You know, you could do that. You could do that and with a boomerang and it will just keep doing it. You know, it's the one that makes people look like they're having a moment. That's what boomerang is. And again, you just tap the middle and it sort of flashes at you for maybe a second and then it will just repetitively do it and do it and do it. But that's boomerang. And again, you can use that in some really weird, cool and funky ways, which is always good. Super zoom, and there's lots of different methods you can use in super zoom. They've made it really, really funky since the last time that I did this challenge, which is why I was just called to do it again, because there's so much here that is not in my old stories challenge. But super zoom, I don't know if you've seen it and someone's, I don't know, maybe you're eating a donut and you shouldn't be, and you go with super zoom and there's sound effects and it goes da, 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 like that's the super zoom. But there's lots and lots of different options. So when you see something above it, like these little sections here, this is giving you different options within the super zoom function itself. And it's the same with some of the other ones, okay? I'm going to scoot along. Focus one, they introduced this, I think, about 6 months ago. And what you can do is you can tap on it. So say you are filming, I don't know, your little one playing in the garden or something, you could tap on it so that it focuses solely on your little one playing and kind of blurs everything out around it. So it's a little bit more photogenic, it looks kind of cool. Personally, I never use it, but hey, it's there if you want to. And again, scroll across. Rewind is, so basically you film it and it happens in, like, it plays backwards. I've never used it. Can't think why I would use it, but you might think of a way of using it. So I don't know. We have a stylist on here. Maybe you could style someone putting something on and then take it all off again. Something like that. That could work. And the last one is hands-free. Now, hands-free is the one that I use all the time, okay? What you can do, and again, I'm hoping that this is rolled out to everybody now. Now, what it used to be like was you would tap that, the go button, right? And hands-free, because you could take your hand off of it. And you can do your hi, like talking, blah, blah, blah. Right, you can do all of that stuff. And what used to happen is you got 15 seconds and it would stop. And you'd have to do what you're going to do, send it to your stories feed, and that was it. You'd have to do another one. What has rolled out recently, what has rolled out recently is you can tap this. So I'm going to tap it. And what it will do is it will just it will just connect them all together. So, and you'll know because it'll have this funky little ring going around it. So I'm just going to leave it and you'll see that it will collect, it will gather up different cards for you. See that? So can you see it's gathering up more than one card? You see what it's doing? And what that is if I press stop now, I'm going to tap it. Hang on, I'm going to put it on mute as I clear myself. It's given me 2 different cards that I need to edit and change and do whatever I need to do with, okay? So depending on whether you've had that rolled out to you or not, will depend on whether you can just tap it once and you can chat for as long as you like, and it will just gather up various different cards for you that you would need to edit if you wanted to, or just send to your stories. It's entirely up to you. If you haven't had that rolled out to you yet, then what you'll have to do is do 15 seconds, go back in, go back in, go back in, and do them one after the other, okay? So hopefully that's that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave this on here, because once you've done one, you need to actually send it to your story, okay? So once you've typed something or you've done boomerang or you've done something like this, you can't just kind of stop it, it's done and it's sent to your stories. You need to physically push it to your stories feed. So once this is done, you would click the next button in the bottom corner and then it will tell you where you will want to send it. So you're going to want to send it to your story at the top. Okay, if you're using the close friends function, what you can do is, and again this is a relatively new thing, you can mark some of your followers as close friends, and what you could do is, say you wanted to share something that's a little more on a personal level that you only want your close friends to see, then what you would do is you would send it just to your close friends, and only the people that you have marked as a close friend will be able to see that story. Okay, does that make sense? So if you want to kind of do things that are a little bit more on the personal level, you know, like me, I've got a massive following. I generally don't use it, but if I wanted to, there are a few people that I have marked as close friends and that I'm happy to see, I don't know, more things that I do with my son, more things that I do with my family, friends, things like that, then I would just send it just to my close friends. And I know that all my, you know, 60-something thousand followers can't see it, and only those very select few people can. So you can personalize it in that way as well if you want to. So that is that. Now, let me just go back to the beginning. So typing is done, and again you can change the colors, which we've got done. Music, go live, normal, and again normal because it's the camera function. Can you see me? Yeah. There is a little smiley face. Okay, this is filters, so you can put a filter on. If you tap it, it'll give you the scrolling across the bottom, so you can add some filters in if you want to, and they do some cool and funky ones. However, I have to go out and say right here that they still have not created anything that's as good as Snapchat. Okay, we will cover that. Okay, we will cover how you can steal funky filters from Snapchat and throw them onto your Insta feed. This will be later in the week when you're a lot more proficient in Insta stories. Okay, I told you this is going for basics, full on badass here, and this is what most people that are really rocking stories really do well, is they steal them from Snapchat and they throw them onto here. All right, but there are some ones here if you want to, and you just scroll across to select the one that you want, and then you take your picture and then you send it. Right, so I'm going to take a picture. Oh goodness me, look at that. It's not the best shot, is it? It's not the best shot. However, once it's done, it's given me a nice opportunity to talk you through some more buttons. I told you today is really going to be about walking you through the platform, buttons, all the kind of stuff that's going on, right? So buttons at the top. These are the ones that are going to help you jazz things up a little bit. We'll go much more into them tomorrow around how you can make things look really super cool. However, I want to cover them for you here. This little, I call it the paperclip thing. It's not really a paperclip, is it? It's meant to be a link, right? This is when you have, let's tap it. Oh, typical. Oh, it's here, right. Okay, so once you get swipe up, you will get this web link. Right, web link or IGTV video. All right, at the moment you'll only have IGTV video if you're below 10k followers, but this is where you would add in links. So if you have IGTV set up, you would select IGTV, and what it will do is it will link you straight to your IGTV channel, and you just select whichever episode that you want and hit the tick button in the top corner, and that's now linked directly to that, so people can swipe up on your stories feed even if you don't have 10k followers, okay, to get to your IGTV channel. Now if you haven't yet watched, I did an IGTV episode on my business page a couple of weeks ago on how to really utilize IGTV, incorporating all your stories stuff, then please do check that out, because I won't be teaching that here, but it is super valuable and I've had some wicked feedback from a lot of people. What I might do is I might drop the link in the group after in case anybody wants to see that. But that's just showing you how to utilize the link button. So if you're below 10k followers, you will have that, but it'll only give you the access to link to IGTV if you've set IGTV up. Okay, if you haven't, then you won't have it at all. But once you've got over 10K followers, then obviously here you can add in your URLs so people can swipe up and go straight to your webpage. Okay. Now, the next button along is a little arrow. You see, this picture's hilarious, isn't it? It's typical of me. It's an arrow. It's a downwards arrow. So this is going to allow you to save your stories to your camera roll if you want to. Now, if you haven't yet connected some of this up to your Facebook page, as you can see here, I have. Okay. Then what you could do is you can download it to your phone and you can now upload it onto your Facebook stories as well. Okay, so you can repurpose your stories onto other places so you don't have to do the work twice. All right, so that's what the downwards arrow is all about. The next arrow is my favorite one. The next one is the little sort of square with the face in it. So if you click that, this opens up a bag of tricks that makes everything come alive. All right. We will be going into sort of GIFs and stuff definitely tomorrow, but I'm just going to walk you through some of the top ones so that you know what they're all about, because some of these are incredible at lead gen and really fantastic at market research. We'll be covering that on Friday. So location, if you want to tag your location, then if you're a local business, it's imperative that you do. Like, it's absolutely imperative that you do. It will also help you gain more views. Okay, so you would tap that, type your location in, and it will add it onto your stories. Mention, that's just mentioning someone. So if you do a story during this week and you want to tag me, you would hit the mention, type my handle in, I am Sam Barefoot, and it will embed it into your story for you. So it could be for anything, right? It could be anything. You could be doing a review of a product and you want to let the company know that you've done it, or you just want to tag it so that your followers can also view that product. Then that's how you would do that. Hashtag is exactly what it says. If you want to embed one hashtag, then you would do it via this route here. And again, you can embed it in, type in what you need, and you can change color, but we'll go through that tomorrow. So if you just want to do one hashtag, that's how you would do it. You can do more than that, and we're going to go through that at some point. But that's how you would do hashtags if you want people to see it. Music, there's another option for you to add in music here. So again, tap it and select the music that you want to add. Time, I'm not really sure why you'd use the time, to be fair, but you could if you wanted to. Polls, really cool. Really love polls, and we'll go into polls way more on Friday because they are epic at all kinds of things. GIFs, right? I'm going to go into GIFs. It is my favorite place to be. GIFs is where you can make things come alive, like literally make stuff come alive. And the way that you do it is, if you go on the top, it says search Giphy, same as what you would do on Facebook. So let's just put Instagram in, for example. I don't know what's going to come up with this. Here we go. So it'll give you lots and lots of Instagram Giphies, okay? And the one that you like and the one that you want, so let's just do that one. Okay, you can put it in and you can drag it about. You can make it bigger or smaller, okay? It's all good. We're going to go into this much more tomorrow. Let's go back. And once you've finished, just press the X or the back button and it'll take you back to the main screen. Questions. Questions is a really good one. Again, it's good at getting interaction on your feed. Okay, the more you can get them engaging with you, the better, the longer they will stay and the more they will watch with you. But there's also kind of trickery around questions in that your little circles at the top, you want your circle to be front and center. Okay, you don't want your circle to be a mile off in the other direction, so they've got to roll round to find your particular circle, right? So the more they engage with you, the closer that circle comes to the main page. All right, it's a little bit of gold trickery there. So that's questions, and it's brilliant. Okay, well, we will go into it, and I will give you tasks, specific tasks, so you use all of this. I'm going to make you utilize everything, okay? Because I want you to really truly understand how powerful some of this stuff is in here. Countdown timers, brilliant if you're launching something. All right, I used it through this launch. I used it for my previous launch. It's super cool when something's coming. It drives urgency. Okay, you'll see it on sales pages a lot. Same thing here. This little thing is it's kind of a score on how epic something might be or how sad, because you can see the little face at the moment is the emoji with the hearts, there's eyes. You can change that to other things. I don't use it very much on this profile, but on some of my viral pages it works really, really well. And again, it's getting them to engage with you, so you could use that. The quiz is really cool for getting people to know who you are, a bit more about you. And you can type all kinds of things in there, so it's really good. But ultimately, you can go down, you've got kind of flat stickers. These are known as stickers and not gifts because they're flat, they don't move. But some of these can be really entertaining as well at the same time, right? So those are the main things you can use. If you can scroll across and have the recent, but yes, that's not all that handy. So that's what your little sticker up here does. The next thing along is a pencil. Now, with the pencil, we're given a few different varieties across the top, right? So this one is just a pencil, right? It's just literally, it's a pencil, okay? The next one along is like a marker, but it's transparent, okay? It's ever so slightly transparent. So you can, and there's the little, can you see the little widget on the side? You can make it bigger or smaller, bigger or smaller, right? So you can have those at anyone. This little one, this one is like, hang on, it's like a glowy one. And this is kind of cool for making, I like to make sort of things pop out with this. I'll show you how I do that tomorrow. So that's that. This one is an eraser. So and again, you could just rub out exactly what you've just done. That's all good. Okay, and again, I use the eraser a slightly different way. I'll show you tomorrow. I use it to create frames, but that can be really useful. And again, this one is like a chalkboard, chalk pencil. Okay, so that's that. Now across the bottom are your colours. So you can tap the colours, and a lot of people don't realise that you can swipe, and it will take you to different shades. Okay. Now, very quickly, if you're here and you might be using this today, I will go into this, I'll give you some extra funky tricks with this, but one of the things that a lot of people don't realise is with these colours, now for me personally, right, if you follow me for a long time, you know that my thing's purple, right? My branding is purple. And this is the only purple that they have here, right? It's not my purple, people. It's not even freaking close to my purple. And it used to really bug me out. So one of the first things I learned how to do was how to create my own purple. So if you're the same, maybe because like the pinks here are not for some people. Maybe you're like a baby pink. There's no baby pink here, for example. So go to the color that you want, hold your finger down, hang on, let's get it, and it will give you this, and then you can move it around to create the shade that you want. See how it's changing color? Can you see? Okay, and it will change color. So hold your finger down. Once you move it up, down, left, right, whatever you want to do, get the color you want, release it, and now you've just set the color, which is, you know, more aligned to your brand color should you need it. So now if I draw, you can see that it's come out purple, okay, which is a lot more aligned sort of to my business. Okay, I'm just going to rub all this out because it's going to look super weird. So that's your color. All right, and once you're done with your pencils, and certainly don't forget, change the shape, the size of your pencil, and it works for all of them. If you've done something and you know, oh god, that looks crap, you can click the undone and it will just go back and back and back and back as to however long you want it. So you do something and you think, do you know what, actually I really don't want it looking like that. Just continually tap undone and it will just slowly but surely erase everything for you. But once you're done, click done and it takes you back to the main page. And the last one is text, obviously. Okay, so you could just type in anything you want. Done. And the same as when I showed you the text page at the beginning, right? You can change the fonts at the top. So modern, neon, typewriter, strong, excuse me, classic, which is what I tend to do. Yeah, so that's it. So if I'm just going to go over to classic, so that would be that. And you can certainly, you can add in emojis here if you wanted to. You can change colour in the exact same way that I've just shown you. So maybe that's not quite right for me and I don't want that because it's not my purple. So let's make it a little bit more along what I want. And maybe if I'm looking at that thinking, well, that's just a little bit dark. Okay, my purple's quite dark. So looking at that, you can't really see it, can you? It needs to pop. So what I would do is see this little square A at the top. If you hit that, what it'll do is it'll invert it for you. Okay, and for me, that works a little bit better. So again, you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. And once you're done, click done, and it's there. And you can put your finger on, you can drag it around, you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, you can rotate it, do whatever you wish to do with it, and make it look as sexy and sassy as you need to. And once you're done, at this point, generally speaking, you've done your whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're speaking to them, whether you've written something out text-wise, you've jazzed it up as and when you want to. Don't worry, we'll go into the whole fancy pants issue tomorrow. And you're done. You're pretty much ready at this point to send it off to your stories feed. And again, all you do here is click that, or if you click send to, it'll give you the choice of whether you want to send it to your story, or it'll give you the choice of whether you want to send it to your close friends. Okay, now I've been waffling and I can't see any of these questions. Julie, the music thing, some people seem to have it, some people don't. The only thing I can suggest is uninstall and reinstall. A lot of this stuff has to roll out globally and not everybody gets the same thing at the same time. So if you don't yet have it, I know it's a complete ball ache, but it should appear. Yes, there's lots of people on the iPhone saying they don't have the music function. Lots and lots of people tell me that. I don't really understand why you wouldn't, unless it's just roll out. So, you know, I said to you about, I'm just going to close that off, the stories thing where you would press it, this card, and it will just roll around and create various stacks of cards for you. That's been released possibly for maybe a year, and I've only had it for the last couple of months. So it does take them some time to roll various things out. So if you don't yet have something, just know that it's coming and try and work your way around it if it's something that you do want to use. Hang on, let me scroll down. I can't see that it's, this is Lucia, I can't see that it's iPhones that wouldn't have it. Anyone watching live or replay, if you have an iPhone, maybe you can confirm, do you have the music option? Because there's going to be enough of you watching this live throughout the week for us to get some confirmations, whether it is just an iPhone thing or not. In fact, no, I know it's not, because one of my friends that I watch, he has an iPhone and he definitely has music because I've seen it. I saw it this morning. So it can't be. It's obviously just a rollout thing. Jeanette, okay, cool. I'll drop the IGTV thing because it's honestly, it's cool. The IGTV thing is, I'm showing you how to use one piece of content that you can rotate all the way around. So it utilizes live, IGTV, your main feed and your stories feed. So it touches all 4 engagement points on Insta. So like I was saying before, your Insta stories has a slightly different audience from your normal feed. So that's 2 audiences that you have. But again, your live audience will be slightly different, can be different from these other 2. So creating some sort of live touches the 3rd point. And again, with IG stories, there's another audience, IGTV, there's another audience that's there. So I've showed you how to create one piece of content that touch points all 4, and I will pop it in here so that you can see it. It's not my purple. Honestly, Danny, it's not my purple. They don't know who I am, clearly. I've sent complaints. I've written memos. I've told them. They've not fixed it. No more needs to be said. Yeah, it must be a rollout thing. Danny, so I'd record an episode on IGTV and then link the graphic to my story. Yes, it is. I'll show you. I'll send the link in after I've done this. Yeah, hopefully it will be coming soon. So ultimately, that is pretty much the basics of how to get started with buttons, with just knowing how to do various different things, with putting repetitive stuff on your stories feed. Have I missed anything? Does anybody feel like they can't now go and do a story in some form, whether that's a text, whether that's, oh, I haven't showed you one thing actually. So we're going to add another one, right? So I'm going cross, hitting the house, going to the top, hitting this, okay? Now you can add things into your stories that are already on your camera roll, okay? See this little button here? I'm just going to do this to make sure there's nothing weird on my phone. You're all right. You're all right. Before I show you this. So you can tap that and it will bring up your story for it. So look, here we go. This is a typical one for me. Is it not? Yeah. So you can add that in as well. So something that perhaps you've had on your, maybe you've taken a screenshot of a testimonial or something from a different platform, from a different place. Maybe it's in video, maybe it's on Facebook, maybe it's in your messenger, whatever that looks like. And you've taken a screenshot, and actually what you'd like to do is you'd like to share that on your Instagram stories. So that's what you would do. It's this little button just here, and it'll bring up your stories feed for you. I think, yeah, if you can also, if you just swipe up, it'll do it for you too. All right, so, and you can go through, you know, the various bits and pieces. For me, I know I'm Android, but you can select gallery and it'll give you all the various different folders that you've got. So if you want to embed something that is already on your camera roll, and maybe that's your choice today to get your things going. Maybe actually you want to share a graphic that you've done, that's showcasing something that you've got going on right now. You can just tap that in there, pop that there, and you can do it. And I mean, it is a thing. You can move them, right? So anything in here you can move. Like anything in here you could absolutely move if you want to. So that's probably the only thing that I needed to cover with you today. But is there anything else? Is there anything else that you think, if I give you some homework now, which is totally what I'm going to do, that you're not going to be able to do this? Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Now, like, you know, the thing with stories is this, right? When people say to me, yeah, but I don't have time. And I'm like, sorry, I'm calling BS on that. I'm calling bullshit on that, totally. For this reason, like I've just showed you, you can add something that's from a different platform. The stories, if you're talking video-wise, you can stand there for a minute like this, talking to your audience. If you don't have a minute to talk to your audience each and every day, you really need to check yourself, because that's just like, really? Are you sure you don't have a minute, a whole minute, just 1 minute? Because you don't even need to fancy this up. Remember, basic is just as powerful as anything else, right? So 4 slides, because they're 15 seconds long. So 4 slides equals 1 minute. Everyone on this challenge, everyone that has a business, everyone has 15 seconds a day, even if you just do 1 slide, to talk to their audience. And like I explained to you, your stories feed has a different audience from your normal feed. So you've been leaving these guys out. I also read a study last week which is now showcasing that video content has always been king, right? It has always been king. And the generational wise, we are leaning more towards personal brands. People want personal brands. People want that connection. People want the feels of a personal brand. And that's how you do that on stories. But what this thing was showcasing, this report was showcasing, is stories or video content that's 15 seconds or less long has more engagement than something that's a minute. So if you've been doing video for your main feed, which is a minute, and not your stories feed, just think about, actually your stories feed is going to be far more engaged than your standard feed. Okay, so I'm hoping that this is kind of drumming it into you that there is no excuse for you not to be able to do some sort of story every day. Whether it's you showing up and saying, hey, good morning, I'm not well today. Hey, good morning, I'm back and badass. Hey, good morning, I've got a new challenge dropping. Hey, good morning, how the fuck are you? Like, what, you know, whatever it is, or whether it's you just showcasing some testimonials. Maybe it's a little video, like Danny's a singer. Maybe someone took a little clip of her singing. She could put that in there. It doesn't have to be still, it can be video too. Okay, and remember, everything you do on Instagram stories, there's that button there that you can download to your phone and you can repurpose it elsewhere. Okay, so you can start to repurpose it onto your Facebook stories as well, both on your business page and on your profile. Okay, there's a whole repurpose map here that you can do. All right, just check up with this. Can people react to stories? Yes, they can. They can react to stories. Let me see if I can do one. So when you're watching someone's stories, I'm hoping it's not going to be anything rude. It isn't usually. If you really like this, oh, it's not going to do it. And it does it on a 50-50 as well. Hang on, let me see if there's another one. Oh, you sod. Right, hang on a minute. Let me go to someone else. Let's do, right, okay. So I've gone to someone else. If you hit at the very bottom where it says send a message, that's how you can react to someone's stories. So you would just tap that and it will send a reaction to it for them. Okay, so that's how you would react to someone's stories. I suppose if you're watching stories as well, and I don't know if you just want me to very quickly cover this. Say you're watching some stories and this doesn't affect you, or maybe you want to go back, forwards on the right, back on the left, forwards on the right, back on the left. If you're watching someone, you're like, I don't even want to watch that, just swipe and it will take you to the next person. Swipe and it will take you to the next person. Swipe and it will take you to the next person. Okay, just so you know a little bit more about how to use stories if you're going to start watching them and doing some research with some people. But hopefully that's given you a really decent overview of how to use them. Hey Nikki, yeah, catch up whenever you need to, darling. I know that I know there's literally hundreds of people booked on. We've had like 8 to 10 people here. I know it's the completely wrong time of day. Tomorrow I'm going to do an evening slot. So tomorrow's lesson is going to be in the evening it's either going to be 8 or 9 p.m. I've got to wait for my little boy to go to bed. So either 8 or 9, I'll drop a message in the group so that you all know. You'll obviously get an email as well. But hopefully that will also help with the various different countries that are signed up to this. And for those of you that, obviously today is a bank holiday Monday as well, for those of you that are working, perhaps this should be children gone to bed after the work day. You could just sit and listen to me blabble on at you and give you, tomorrow's going to be fun though. Tomorrow's like the branding and funky stuff fun. So you should really, really enjoy that. Yeah, okay, cool. Yes, Julie, the reactions does help with engagement reach. Yes, the more you can get people engaging with you, the better, okay? And you will learn lots and lots of techniques and ways and methods and things like that that are going to happen across the rest of this week, okay? You'll learn lots and lots of that. So I've had your attention for nearly an hour. Your homework of the day is this. You've got a few little pieces. Come and follow me because I want you to see how I'm going to do today. So watch my stories. Go and find 3 people. Maybe I'm one of them, so you just need 2. Go find some other people that you like watching and just watch them. Just absorb and see what kind of inspiration you can take from those people. And your challenge is this. I want you to show up on your stories today, okay? Whether that's you need to go and introduce yourself. And you know what, take the stress off of yourself and say, like, I've just started a stories challenge with Sam Barefoot. She's told me to come and say hi to you, so I'm here, I'm hi. This is what I'm about. This is what the kind of stuff you're going to get on the stories, like on the challenge this week. Like, give them a little prompt as to either who you are, if you haven't done that before, or you haven't done it for a long time, or tell them what's coming in the week. What can they expect? Okay. Drive a little bit of intrigue. So that is your that's your challenge of the day. Please do tag me in anything you want. I'm going to sporadically through the week give out some little prizes, okay? And that's going to run from some paid content that I've got that I'm going to give you to some one-to-one time with me. So some of the best stuff that I see, and I promise you, for me, some of the stuff that's I consider the best isn't necessarily like aesthetically pleasing best. I just love to see transformation. So tag me, show me what you're doing. And some of the stuff that I see each day that I really, really love, I'm going to be giving out some goodies. Because I know that for a lot of you, this is really freaking scary. All right, and I really do appreciate that. So hopefully day 1 has inspired you to go and just be confident and know that you're not going to break it and it's all good. And if you don't like it, you can delete it. That little X at the top is there for a reason. If you don't like it, delete it. Like, it's all good. Day one is basics. Tomorrow is branding, funky stuff, making it look super slick if you want it. But I'll be here at a later time tomorrow. You will get all the replays are going to be here. I know there's lots and lots of catching up to do, so you will get an email after each day. The replays are always going to be in the group. Any questions at all, you can hit me up in the group. But I will be going and doing my set of stories for you in a little while, so you can watch and see how I'm going to handle day one. And I really hope that this has ticked a lot of boxes for you, and I'll see you tomorrow. See you later. Oh, and thank you so much for your patience last week. I was almost like, I was really not good, and you wouldn't have got anywhere near the energy that you've got today. So I do very much appreciate that. Have an amazing week.